So in last week's video, we talked about how to go about finding a therapist, but maybe you're not convinced that you're ready for that yet. People go to therapy for tons of different reasons, and sadly, many wait until their symptoms are almost unmanageable before they ever make their first appointment. Obviously, this can make the recovery process longer and sometimes more challenging. So at what point do you need to figure out when to pick up the phone and make that first appointment? Honestly, it's not about what your symptoms are, but more about how they're affecting your life. You can go to counseling for dealing with a breakup, or recovering after a divorce, or getting your kid to pay more attention in school, or teaching them skills on how to do that, learning how to be a better parent, dealing with anxiety, depression, trauma, panic, figuring out if you want to make a career move, improving your self-esteem or self-identity, dealing with family drama from years ago that are still somewhat affecting you, dealing with an addiction, dealing with the stresses of everyday life. There's so many different reasons that people come to therapy, and yours is probably going to be listed among them. So whether you need to grieve a loss in your family or just try to reach a goal that's been eluding you, all of the reasons are valid in therapy, and they can all be addressed and treated with the help of a therapist. It's not hard to consider the reasons that people don't go to therapy, since our culture puts a stupid stigma on mental health and people that get help, which is ridiculous when you think about it, because if you injure yourself or you have the sniffles or you've got like a couple weeks of a cough, people are going to say, hey, have you gotten that checked out? Have you had your doctor look at that? You probably should make an appointment. But when it comes to mental health or relationship issues or personal hangups, that's like the last thing people encourage you to do is to get help. They're all like, hope you feel better. It literally kills me, because studies show that mental and emotional stress has the same effect as physical stress on our overall health and well-being. So why are we not treating these things as equals? Some sham idea that we're physically capable of injury, but mentally we're invincible, when in reality it's usually the other way around. Words hurt us. People hurt us. Experiences hurt us. That old stupid phrase, sticks and stones may break our bones, but words can never hurt us. I'm sorry, BS. No, it's the complete opposite. We can be so affected by the things that people say or the experiences that we have with the things that happen in our life, and they wear on us over time, and we develop these like limps, like I've talked about in other videos, where we get stuck in certain areas, and those are the things that we go to therapy for, to get that help. Life is not easy, and we are not mentally invincible. And if you feel like you're mentally invincible, I hate to break it to you, but you're not. There's something that Brene Brown talks about when she addresses shame. She says the less that people talk about shame, the more they probably have it. So the more that people tell me, I don't need a counselor, I don't need a therapist, I'll be fine. Maybe that's more of an indicator that it's time for you to make that first appointment. Listen, friends and family are our biggest supports in this life, and they are invaluable. But sometimes there's things that we just can't talk about with friends and family. Maybe they're the cause of our pain, or maybe they just don't understand and can't relate and empathize with what it is that's really got us stuck. So that's why an outside perspective, an outside person can give you that therapeutic insight into your issues and help you work through some of those things in a safe way. Our job as therapists is to be on your team, to be in your corner, to be your biggest support and cheerleader. That's our main objective. We always have the objective to hear and listen. That's what we do. And so your family might be a wonderful support, but they might not be the best at just listening to you and understanding what it is that you feel. So many of my clients come into my office for the first time ever having seen a therapist, and they just break down and cry. And they apologize and everything. I'm like, no, don't apologize. This is your space. And then when I ask them, where are these tears coming from? They just say, it just feels so good to be heard. Because this is the first time they've gotten the chance to just unburden themselves and not feel alone in their pain. Going to therapy allows us the chance to step away from the emotions, feel them in a safe space so they no longer control us in the settings that trigger that. If you've ever had the thought like, oh, maybe it'd be a good idea to go to counseling, then I would say that's a pretty good indicator that it is a good idea. It's like when you think about, oh, I would probably enjoy working out, or that would be really good for my health, or I should probably eat better, or I should try that new hobby. If you're thinking about it, that's a pretty good indicator that it would be beneficial for you to at least try. So please, don't keep waiting. The longer you wait, sometimes the harder it can be in treatment. Now, that does not mean that if you've waited too long that you are without help. You're not. We see people every day that have been in decades of pain and never had somebody enter into that space with them safely. So there's people out there that are just like you, that are carrying this pain, and you don't have to be alone anymore. You can come into a therapist's office and hopefully unburden yourself in a really safe and confidential setting. So now if I've convinced you and you're ready to just sign up for that first appointment, then watch last week's video so you can see how to go about finding a therapist, and join us next week on This Full Life with Kelly.